Well, it's been a while since I've hopped on the mic and made mention of the Miami Dolphins. I mean, what has it been? 6 weeks, at least, since the Bills game or something like that? It's been over a month, but today it's going to be different because I'm sure you've all heard the news. You've all heard the news. Tua Tagovailoa has been demoted to the emergency third-string quarterback. We won't be seeing him play for the Miami Dolphins for the remainder of the season, and maybe not ever again. And that's sort of how I'm taking the news. And man, it's crazy that it's going to end this way, huh? I mean, it was a roller coaster ride, that's for sure. And for me personally, I just think about how when Tua got drafted in 2020, I was in a one-bedroom apartment. I didn't have any kids or any woman or really any huge responsibilities. So sometimes I think about that. Like, it's been a while, man. He's been the quarterback of the Dolphins for quite some time, and the world keeps spinning. It'll keep spinning for the next guy who's going to suit up for the Miami Dolphins. But let's talk about Tua, man. Let's talk about Tua and what happened. Because this year, even though they went on this win streak, he was not good this season. I mean, he's got 20 touchdowns, 15 interceptions, leads the league, and it seems like he's slower than he's ever been. And that's saying something. He wasn't even mobile to begin with, but it's weird, isn't it, how it works? I mean, before the season began, the thing that everyone was saying was, if Tua could stay healthy, if only Tua could stay healthy, all these ifs, and it all had to do with his health. Nobody expected that his play would be so bad that even though he stayed healthy through every game this season, he had to get kicked to the curb. He had to get put into the third-string emergency quarterback position because he did not play well enough. And there will be a subset of people out there who don't believe it falls on Tua. I am not one of those people. I do believe that it's on Tua, and he seems like a good guy. I really mean that. I think he's a family man. He believes in his faith, and I could respect that. He doesn't seem like a bad dude, but let's just talk about athlete. All right, we're talking about competition, best on best. And some may have said that Tua never really had that it factor. I mean, I think he kind of did, but if he did have it at some point, he no longer has it anymore. And why is that? In my personal opinion, and I'm not there, I cannot confirm this, but it does seem like he is a guy that doesn't care. And I'm just being honest. Let's talk about the evidence to that. Tua gets his contract, he immediately goes on a victory run over his old head coach, Brian Flores. He goes up to the fans, does his whole show me the money thing. Whoopies, got the bag. Then he goes and plays, and coming into this season, it's even more so, you know. Now when the Dolphins are losing late in the game, he's laughing on the sideline. He just doesn't have the mannerisms of a guy who cares whether the team wins or loses. And there was something he said earlier this season in a press conference that I think spoke a lot. He said, whether I go out there and throw 5 touchdowns and we win the game, or I go out there and throw 5 interceptions and we lose the game, I'm going home to watch Disney with my kids. That's what he said. He really said that. You could look it up. And it wasn't really made of as big of a deal as the press conference after the Charger game. Everyone's going to talk about that, and I'll give that to you. Throwing the teammates under the bus, not good. But to go out there and say, basically, I just show up, do my job, and then I go home and hang out with my family. That is not something that a great athlete can do. A great athlete is going to be obsessed with their craft. And you could treat it like a 9-to-5 job if you want to, you know, and I'm sure there's some athletes that are just so good, so gifted that they could get away with that. Tua is not that guy. And most of the time, a quarterback can't be that guy. And I almost think you got a guy that went into the offseason and didn't throw a football. He didn't throw a football for 6 months. I really believe that that is a possibility, that he may have hit the gym like twice a week and he didn't take it that seriously. And you know what? Maybe I'm wrong, and maybe that's just insulting to think that, but everything he's shown has shown exactly that. I mean, this last recent week against Pittsburgh, they're down 3 touchdowns, and he's laughing on the sideline. He doesn't give a shit. After the game, he's fucking doing dances and laughing and doing backflips with Jalen Ramsey. I mean, could you make it any more obvious you don't give a fuck? And I'm not saying you gotta cry or slam your helmet on the ground every time you throw a pick. But I mean, it's like he goes out there, throws the dumbest pick of all time, and then just giggles his way to the sideline, man. I mean, could you make it any... The message is clear. And my only question is, why did it take so long for this to happen? Because why did we wait until we're mathematically eliminated from the playoffs? When you could have won out and you still weren't making the playoffs, and this team was not going to win out to begin with. So this should have been after the Saints game, in my opinion, probably before that. I mean, I probably would have done it after the Cleveland game way back early in the season, but it is what it is, man. Now the time has come. The time has come. The rapture of Tua Tagovailoa. He is no longer going to be the starting quarterback of the Dolphins. So that actually does leave me a little bit of excitement. I won't lie to you, because I don't know much about Quinn Ewers. Is he going to be good? I don't know. He might be terrible, but it gives you something to look at, right? Because for the last couple weeks, even with the winning, it's been Devon Achane. The defense has gotten better, and they just slide their way to wins against bad teams, right? And Tua basically does nothing. They win in spite of him, not because of him. And that's just been the story of this team for this season, you know? And I'm glad that they crawled back and made a somewhat respectable record when it's all said and done, but they've not been good enough. And that leads us to Mike McDaniel. What should the Dolphins do about Mike McDaniel? Is this a Mike decision or a Ross decision? I'm not sure. I'd guess Mike probably wanted to make this choice. I mean, he had that one conference where he said the expectation is to throw less than 10 interceptions or something like that. I mean, you could tell he's been fed up with Tua's shit, and I can't blame him. And in my opinion, no one's going to agree with me on this, but I think Mike McDaniel should come back next season. And here's why. We came into the season knowing that, or at least for me, knowing this team was not going to be good. The roster, especially on defense, was very bad. Offense, on paper, underwhelming. How are they going to beat teams? I mean, I thought they were going to beat, like, the Colts and maybe New England, and I thought they were going to be better out of the gate, but they were awful, especially defensively. And the one thing I will hang my hat on for Mike McDaniel is that the team did get better throughout the season. Outside of the quarterback, who seemed to stay stagnant and not get any better, if anything, just get worse, the team got better. They figured out the run game. The offensive line got a lot better as the season went. The defense, I mean, they went from not knowing how to tackle to being a pretty respectable defense. And they got a no-name secondary. I mean, they found a way to be a somewhat respectable team with a very unrespectable start. So I would be interested to see what Mike can do with a different quarterback, possibly bring in a veteran, Russell Wilson maybe. I'm not saying that Russ would come win a Super Bowl down in Miami, but I do think that he would be better than Tua. I mean, what would be worse? I can't even imagine Zach Wilson would be worse than Tua. So we'll see as far as that goes, but that's all I gotta say about the Tua situation, man. It's just kind of sad. The era is coming to an end. And you know what? Just let me know if you get this far in the video. What are your favorite moments of the Tua era of the Miami Dolphins? Because, man, what are mine? I gotta go with Tua's first career start in 2020. That Raider game where Fitzpatrick got his face mask tugged. But then what did Tua do? I mean, there's that Ravens comeback. The Bills game in 2022 in week 3. Tua coming back from that concussion. That Dallas game. Oh, obviously that Ravens comeback. How could you forget that one? Those are just some of my favorite moments of the Tua era of the Miami Dolphins. And for Tua, there's no shame, man. He's been okay and probably will find, if the Dolphins do let him go, he'll find a spot in the NFL, at least as a backup quarterback. And there is absolutely no shame in that. But to be a championship caliber quarterback, bona fide starter in the best league in the world as far as professional football goes, especially as a quarterback, you got to be an ultimate competitor. And that's not what Tua is, and that's not what he's shown. And that's all right. Not everyone's got to be that. You could be a mentor to some younger guy or do something else. I don't know, but that's it. All right.